We're here with Cassandra today, and she's going to begin by introducing herself and telling us her company's name.
Hello, everyone. Cassandra Hill, CEO and founder of Holistic Living Consulting.
Very nice. So, Cassandra, how long has your consulting business been in business?
I've been in business 6 years now.
Okay, great, great.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about what you do in your consulting business.
Sure. I work primarily with Black women, entrepreneurs, and some who are in corporate America. And what we do, we um, facilitate their healing emotionally and mentally. And we also create a game plan for those who are entrepreneurs. We create a game plan for them to have financial stability within their business. And we make sure that those strategies align with them having that well being.
Oh, I love that. That's very good. You two great points you hit on is financial stability and well-being, like a holistic
Yeah,
well-being. I love both of those.
yeah,
Those are my
yeah,
passions. So, and I love that you hit them both and not just one or the other.
yeah,
You want to make
yeah,
sure they're successful
yeah,
and
yes,
profitable in their business, but that
yeah.
they also remain healthy in the process. So.
Yes, because without health, I mean, what else? If
Exactly.
you're a millionaire, but you're stretched out somewhere, sick, you can't enjoy it anyway. So you
Right.
want both.
Exactly. It makes a lot of sense, but unfortunately, a lot of us don't pay attention to both of those, right?
No.
We usually so focused on the income, the profit part, the money making part, the being profitable, that we sacrifice our holistic health for that.
Yeah.
So I think it's great that you make sure that when you work with businesses, they focus on both.
Yeah.
So, what brought you to? I always like to discover what brought a person to start their business. What along your journey said to you, I need to start this business?
Well, for me, like most women, especially women of color, we're taught get that education. That's the ticket to open doors. And so I did. God bless me, got the bachelor's, the master's, and all these alphabets behind my name and stuff. And I worked in corporate America for probably a little over 10 years. And climbing that corporate ladder, for a lot of us, we neglect ourselves. We're so focused on the career, and then we're taking care of others. We have responsibilities. You may have kids, spouse, all those things. And I did that. And eventually, my body was like, we're going on strike. We need a break. And I'm like, because literally my body shut down,
Wow.
complete shutdown. I was diagnosed with systemic lupus. And in the middle of me doing treatment for that, part of that included chemo drugs. And so I didn't have a choice. I couldn't go back to work. And
Ah,
while I was doing that, and I wasn't getting the results that I wanted, eventually I went back to college, just started taking classes in alternative medicine, courses in health and wellness. And as I learned and applied what I learned to myself, I was blessed to enter remission.
okay.
And so I entered remission, had been in remission about 2 years. And I was like, okay, Lord, what's next? And he let me know that my healing wasn't just for me,
Mhm.
and that my healing was to empower others toward their healing. And so that's what started my entrepreneur journey, just knowing that I'm called to serve. And now in the space I'm in, realizing that what happened to me wasn't abnormal. There's so many Black women who are, it's like a corporate exodus with us
Ah,
leaving corporate America. And part of it is maybe due to our health, maybe due to our well being, but just not being treated um, in the manner that we deserve. We're bringing value to the organization, but the organization isn't valuing what we bring. And so my vision with my business, I wanted to create a world where women, but especially women of color, where it's a safe place
mhm,
for us, and then we can work on that healing as
got it.
well.
Okay. Ah, very interesting. I like how your personal journey informed um, your business of service.
Yeah.
So, in establishing your business and being passionate about what you do, what would you say was a resource or the most resources that helped you to be most successful in what you're doing?
Yeah, I would say the resources that have been really beneficial to me is me investing in myself, taking courses.
Mm.
You go on LinkedIn University. Y'all need to send me a check, LinkedIn. Um, there's so much opportunity to learn because you might have your zone of genius, what you're great at, and there's things that you're not great at that you may do some within your business, and you need to develop some type of skill set. Some things you
Yes.
might end up delegating, but
Hmm.
even those tasks you end up delegating, you need to have enough knowledge about so where you can ensure that the contractor or company or whoever is doing that task is doing it properly. So that was really beneficial. Me just taking various courses. I've been fortunate to learn some really great business practices. I'm a graduate of Cornell University,
Hmm.
certified in women's entrepreneurship from Cornell, and just taking many courses along the way has been beneficial. And then my network,
Okay.
everybody say your network determines your net worth,
Right.
and that is so true. I've been fortunate to be in rooms with some of the brightest entrepreneurs, and we have the opportunity to learn from one another.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. In getting your business off the ground, what would you say was your biggest challenge? And did you see that challenge reflected when you started helping other women in their business?
Yeah, my biggest challenge. Okay, like I said, I started this business after leaving corporate. The savings that I had from corporate, it was bye bye
Uh-huh.
because of my health. You know,
Right,
if
right,
I say without health, you don't have wealth. So
right.
that was bye. And so when I started my business, I really didn't have sufficient capital. That was a big hurdle to
Mm,
overcome. I was still working
mhm,
full time, working my business in the evening hours. That's a lot. And
mm,
then, you're balancing because I already learned from past experience, don't work yourself to exhaustion. So that was a challenge to have that balance, but need to work, you know?
right,
I mean, you
right,
got to take care of yourself, so you need to
right.
work, but not having the capital, not being approved for any type of business funding. We all know that for many Black women who start businesses, we're less likely to receive capital.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And so that was a big challenge, and I see that with so many women that I work with. It's really made me. I recently decided to partner with a company that offers funding to entrepreneurs. So when a woman comes to me, whether she's a client, whether we're just determining if she's a good fit, I share that resource to where she can get the opportunity to get the capital to start her business or grow and scale.
Got it. Got it. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So a lot of entrepreneurs I know, we can go through, go to different workshops and try to find means of gaining information and being a part of programs where it doesn't cost us money. Because to your point, that capital is a very high commodity for us. And a lot of times we have no other choice but to start our business as a side hustle, right? Like you said, we have to have the income to take care of ourselves while we're building our business.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times we try to find ways where we can get information for free. We can attend a workshop, we can find out what's out there, by participating in these things. Um, and one of the things, sometimes the programs tells us to do things like, build a business plan, do some market research, look at your competitors, get a pitch together. So, looking at some of those things, what are some initial ways when you meet with a woman who's trying to build and grow her business? What are some initial things that you would advise her to do?
Yeah, I would say, especially if you're new to business, even if you're operating your business part time, think of your company as the Fortune 500 already. So, day one, you have a separate account, you have a business checking account. So, you're operating to where when grants are available, you're eligible. You have your EIN number. Um, Me personally, I went ahead and invested even when I was working my business part time. I got it incorporated, got the LLC. Do those things. Be willing to invest in your business because here's the thing, there's only so much you can get for free.
Uh-huh.
Free can only get you so far,
Mm,
and that's just reality. You get
mm-hmm,
what you pay for. That would be like us ladies. We already know. Let's say we go to the mall, and you're at the mall, you're looking, just browse, and you come across a Gucci bag.
mm-hmm.
You see a Gucci bag, and it's like nice. It checks all the things on your list. But you look at the price tag and it's $20. My point exactly. You gonna think
This
something
ain't
ain't
real.
right. This must, I know I'm in the Gucci store, but this must be a fake. It must be a, because in your mind, you already know it shouldn't cost that.
Right,
It's worth more than that.
right.
So how much is your business worth to you? So some things, yes, you can do free, but some things you will need to invest in.
Mm,
Be willing to do that, because if you're not making any investments in your business, do you think, do you really think someone is going to invest in you
mm,
and you're not even willing to do it for yourself?
mm.
you know. But we start off. Sorry for the soapbox, y'all,
No,
but I
no,
got
no,
to keep it
no. That was
real.
excellent. That was excellent. I love that
Gotta
analogy
keep
you
it
use
real.
because I'm sure everyone can relate to that, And to your
Yeah.
point, there is only so much information you can get for free, then it starts
Yeah,
repeating itself. So
yeah,
then, okay, you've gotten all that foundation information. Now it's time to, you need a little higher level information,
yeah,
and that's going to
yeah,
cost you an investment. To your point.
yeah,
So yes,
yeah.
that was a very good point. So keep going. I'm loving it.
But yeah, once we get those things down, then you could start applying for some grants. Get a little additional capital on what you're already investing into your business. And that's when normally, when we get to that point, I start talking um, to a woman about the visibility.
Okay.
Yeah, because people can't buy from you if they don't know you or don't know your business. So we
Right.
start working on that visibility. I have connections with various magazine publications and just various media opportunities to where we start working on that visibility. And I got something in the works that's gonna take that visibility even further.
Oh, wow.
So keep your eyes and ears open. If you're not following me, be sure to follow me. Just go to my link tree, Hiller Cassandra, so you can stay plugged in and know about the ways that I can give you even more exposure to where you're reaching coast to coast. All right. Um,
Wonderful.
and then honestly, from there, it varies just based on your goals with your business. Like, for example, I recently met with a lady who has a business that she's building. However, she has a career that she loves.
Oh,
So her business is going to look a little different versus someone who's a full time and this is your bread and butter.
got it.
100%. So it varies, and I definitely customize it to fit each one of my ladies' needs.
Got it. Got it. Wonderful. Wonderful. Now, I've always found that in talking to other entrepreneurs that when you start out on a business journey, you kind of get to know yourself in a new way.
Hmm.
You kind of meet yourself where you are. And when you find yourself in a spot where you feel like you're stuck, you realize that there's some personal growth you need to do to reach this
Yeah,
dream goal you have in mind.
yeah,
It's like when you're first getting started, you are focused on like we said, all the foundation things, the basic things, the basic setups, and then you grow to focus on the exposure. And then I think that's when most of us get into the arena where we start thinking, okay, we start finding that we have a comfort zone that we have to break out of if we're going to
yeah,
grow in our
yeah.
business. And
Hmm.
sometimes the things that we learn about ourselves surprise us, right?
Yeah,
Like we think, I can never do that. And then we realize, oh, after doing a couple of times, I'm pretty good at doing that, right? We're
yeah.
surprised. So what along your business journey has surprised you?
Oh wow. It's funny you should say that because for me, and this is something I'm working on right now, y'all. So this is real real
Real
time
time,
here.
okay.
I'm a speaker, I've been fortunate to speak, just grace various stages across the world, like,
Mhm,
even outside the US.
mhm.
And one time I did an event, and after I finished, one of the attendees came, you get audience members want to talk to you, and I'm
Uh-huh.
there talking, chit chatting. And the lady asked me, like, oh, I would love to hear you speak again. When is your next event? And I told her, I said, hey, I'm speaking here, and I gave her the date. And she was like, good, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like your event. Like when is your event? And I was like, oh, I've never hosted my
Ah,
own conference or,
right.
in-person event. And I really just brushed it off like, oh wow, I just really appreciate that compliment.
Mhm.
But then it happened again and again. And I was like,
Ah.
okay, God, you telling me it's time for me to plan my own event. And so actually I'm doing that now. I'm planning my first retreat that will happen, Lord willing, in 2025.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful.
But yeah, thank you. But for me, I just never thought. I mean, yes, I do feel I'm gifted in speaking and impacting the people God has called me to serve. So yes,
Yeah.
speaking definitely. I just pictured myself being on stages, being in places. But as far as doing it, hosting,
Uh-huh.
I thought that was out my wheelhouse, honestly.
Ah.
I just thought it was out my wheelhouse.
Mm.
And what was so crazy, and like I said, this is real time. So I
Right.
started working on the itinerary just last week.
Uh-huh.
Did the itinerary for the weekend, sent it to acquaintance, and they were like, "Wow, Cassandra!" Like, because we were talking about it, and that pushed me to develop an itinerary, and I did it like same day, had it done.
Wonderful.
Um,
Wonderful.
but yeah, I just really thought that was out of my zone of genius.
Right, right. Wonderful, wonderful. I love that because that's usually how it happens too. It's usually,
Yeah,
just it's usually someone else sees it in us.
yeah,
And
mhm,
and then somebody else sees it in us. And then we say, wow, well, let me think about that.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
love that.
yeah. And I think for me, I grew up very rural town. Um,
Where'd you
you
grow up?
just
What state?
Arkansas.
Okay.
Yeah, and so growing up in the South and everything, you have a lot of, I guess, hurdles to
Yeah.
overcome. First generation college student, first generation entrepreneur, and everything. And so for me, um, God has blessed me to really beat the odds.
Ah.
And I think sometimes, and this is something I notice with so many ladies I work with, we don't take the time to evaluate what we have done and what we're capable of doing.
Mm, that part. Yes. Yes. I agree 100%. We seem to be so quick to bypass our success and focus on the next goal
Yeah,
that we don't pause to congratulate ourselves,
yeah,
to say, wow, look what you came through.
yeah,
You said you were going to do XYZ and you
yeah,
did XYZ. We
yeah,
don't we don't pause to just soak
yeah.
that in so
Mhm.
that our system, our spiritual and physical system and emotional system gets
Yeah,
used to accepting a win, right?
yeah,
It get used to that
mhm,
feeling of, oh, I did it.
yeah,
We can jump so quickly from an accomplishment to, okay, what's the next thing I need to work towards?
yeah,
That
yeah,
we never give our body and our spirit a chance to get used to. You were successful at that.
yeah,
You deserve to
yeah,
pat yourself on the back for that
yeah.
and
Give
then move
yourself the
on.
clap.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that, and then even just recognizing. And for those women who are in corporate, pay attention. Giving y'all a golden nugget here. Now, think about it. You work in corporate America. You are generating probably 6 figures or 7 figures for another corporation. And if you wasn't doing that, let me tell you, you wouldn't be there. You would. Because if you wasn't performing, they would send you packing.
Yes.
So when you think about your business, your endeavor, you've already made 6, 7 figures. You just did it within someone else's business.
Right.
So don't you dare start your business and think that you cannot do it. It can be done because you've already worked the steps. The only difference between you and that big corporation you worked for, one thing, the capital. Whatever initiatives you wanted to start within that organization, as long as, for me, I worked in long-term care, so the administrator was the person above me. So long as the administrator was cool with it, I rolled it out. Your organization might be a little different, but because they had multi-million or $1 billion company, the capital was never issued to where when you thought of that initiative or that whatever, it moved forward.
Right.
And you just hadn't gotten to that point within your business. And that's why I say you want to make sure that you start your business treating it as a corporation from day one, where you got that EIN, you got some type of legal entity, and you got a business account. Because once you get that capital, the same way you was generating ideas that sparked massive revenue for that corporation, you could do it for your own corporation.
Right. Right. Very good points. One point you made that I think we don't think about a lot of times is whatever salary you are earning at that company, you are earning them at least triple or more in your work. And you don't see it that way. Yeah. We don't see it that way. We think sometimes we think we're even lucky. I'm lucky to be making this amount. But to your point, you can be guaranteed that whatever they're paying you, they are making at least minimally quadruple that amount from you.
Yeah.
And a whole lot more than that. So if you think about that as an entrepreneur, you think about building your own business, and when you think about pricing your service or your product, keep that in mind. Keep in mind that every employee works for a company who stays in business by making a profit.
That's it.
So you have to be focused on how you're going to make a profit and understand what cost structure you have to be profitable. Otherwise, you just got a hobby that's expensive. You don't have a business.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And then just do a reverse engineer. So you think about your company, if you want to make 500,000, okay? You look at your services, you look at your products. How many of these I need to sell? How many of it? And go from there. And then that's how you set your goals. You know, how many hours will I need to work to hit that number? You know?
Very, very good. Very good. So have you, personally in your business journey, have you had any models around you, any entrepreneurs around you to tap into? Were there any entrepreneurs in your family that kind of set a model for you? Or was this something that you are the first one doing it and you are figuring it out as you go along?
I didn't have a model in my family,
Okay.
you know. Um, I was able to get in network. Um, that's what I love. We live in a virtual space to where
Yes.
you can go on LinkedIn, you can go on Facebook and meet entrepreneurs. But within my family, uh, I'm my only child, and my parents, they didn't pursue entrepreneurship. So
Okay. So in your type of business, you said you've been in business 7 years?
6,
6 years.
yeah.
So you have passed that 5 year mark hurdle, by the way. So congrats on that. Because most
Thank
businesses
you.
don't get to that 5 year hurdle. They don't last
Yeah.
that long. So congrats for making it through that five and you're into six. So great. So
Yeah.
in your business journey, what would you say have changed in your industry since you first started your business?
I would say when I first started within the wellness industry, so much has changed because I started in 2018, and then
Uh-huh.
of course we know in 2020, pandemic,
Right.
people was 2020, 2021. People were just focused on their immune health
Yes.
because we had this virus for a while, no vaccine available. People were just concerned about how can I strengthen my immune system naturally because you had so many people, even after the vaccine, some people made in opted not to take the vaccine. And even for those who did, they wanted natural ways to keep their immune system strong. And even for those who did develop COVID, was just looking for relief from all the symptoms, whether it was their voice, you know, whether it was some people, it affected their blood sugar. COVID just affected people in so many different ways to where
Yes.
some people it was like, oh wow, you had that symptom, and others who it was just all respiratory
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah.
Um and so during those years I got a lot of people who were, yeah, more focused on their health, their physical health. But really, as we've entered, in which, yes, we still do have cases of COVID. People still get COVID now, but I would say now we're in a post-COVID era to where now I feel within the wellness industry, people are more focused on just living a healthier life, and even for blacks, I think influencers like Tabitha Brown have made it popular to be vegan because blacks are a very fast growing group of the US population who's becoming vegan.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So where now I see we're actually, I feel, headed in a really good direction to where we're starting to be a little more proactive about our health, and we're having more conversations on our mental well-being.
Right, right, right. So, and speaking of that, I like to learn from entrepreneurs, especially. What is your go-to, or what are some of the things that you do to nurture yourself when it comes to self-care and making sure that you're not being overworked, that you're tending to your mental? In your
Mhm.
spiritual health, what are
Yeah.
some of the modalities you use to maintain that?
Yeah. Some of the modalities I use, I'm really big into aromatherapy. I love that.
Okay.
Uh, Reading is so peaceful for me. I've always been a big reader. Uh, since I was a little kid, I
Uh-huh.
always loved reading. So that's healing, just brings me peace, serenity, as well as writing as well. Um, I love to travel. And then another thing that I do within my business, 3 days a week are my coaching days. Tuesday through Thursday are my coaching days. And I leave Monday and Friday open so I can have some time to just, yeah, I'm gonna do some administrative work, but I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna have some time to focus on
All right.
So I was intentional on doing that
Good.
within my business.
Good. Very good. So what do you say to someone who says, someone you're working with and you're telling them they need to have balance and they're saying, Cassandra, I have just got to get this business going. I don't have time to take time off. I don't have time, to rest. There's just so much to be done. And as a solo entrepreneur, I have to do it all. I have to wear all the hats. So
Okay.
it's just very difficult for me to rest or to take a break without feeling guilty. What
Okay.
would you say to that entrepreneur?
Take the break and feel guilty.
Hmm.
It's okay to feel guilty.
Hmm.
You're either gonna take the break and feel guilty or crash and burn. You
Hmm.
decide.
I love that.
You know,
These are
I'm
your
real
options.
honest. I'm real honest with the people I serve, and I realize I'm not for everyone. And that's why before we start one-on-one coaching, we have a consult and we determine
Yes,
if we're a good fit for one another. Because I'm gonna be
yes,
honest with
right.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not one of those coaches who's just going to tell you what you want to hear
Mm,
when I know it's going to be to your detriment.
right, right. Wonderful. I love that.
You know?
What about if you have a business woman that you're working with and there's a task like in owning a business, we're usually the primary voice in promoting our business. And a lot
Hmm.
of times you can come across people who are afraid to speak up or to speak out about it. I got to go
Yeah.
talk to people about this. I just want to stay behind the scenes and make this. I don't want to have to go sell. I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to go sell
Okay.
it to people. I just, so they're coming upon this fear thing and they don't know how to get through it. And to your point, they're trying to find a way around it and they want you to tell them something that will help soothe them so they feel more comfortable not doing what they need
Yeah.
to do. But you
Yeah.
say when they come up with that fear, that issue of fear.
Yeah. Yeah. Normally, that's when we start working on that mindset because that's a self sabotaging thought
Mm,
that first we need to figure out where did it originate? What makes you fearful? You started this business, you had a goal of solving some type of problem because most businesses, if you're not solving a problem, you're not in business,
mhm,
right?
right.
So you want to solve this problem, and we talk about that. And normally that gets them passionate because you're really focused on solving this problem. So if you're really focused on solving this problem, let's say, and then I use a lot of comparisons to where you have those light bulb moments. For example, let's say you have the cure for cancer. Okay.
Yeah.
You got the cure. You already know it's millions of people out here with cancer. Would you not share it because you're
Mm,
shy?
mm,
Or would you say, hey, I'm trying to heal all these people from cancer?
mm,
What's the difference? Why you're not doing the same thing for your business?
um,
You're solving this problem, and I'm not minimizing cancer. I know I've had loved ones to die from cancer, but you're
right.
solving this problem, and for some people out there, that problem is detrimental.
Mm,
And you have the answer. You say you have the answer. Do you really believe it?
mm,
Because if you believe it, why are we not helping the people you're called to serve in healing from that, whatever
yeah.
that is?
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's getting around those self sabotaging thoughts and then working on the mindset,
Right.
because generally when you have that type of fear, it's rooted in not feeling qualified or worthy.
Mm, very good. Very good. I totally agree. Totally agree. So, Cassandra, what do you consider to be your superpower?
Oh, my superpower. If I had to say just one,
Uh-huh.
I would say I'm really great at developing strategies.
Okay.
Just really great at developing a strategy. Like I could have a friend girl call me and say, um, hey, I want to do this, like business wise. And we can sit on the phone, or I'll be like, let's hop on a Zoom. And within 30 minutes to an hour, she will have a strategy. And matter of fact, this one friend of mine comes to mind, and we're such good friends. Yeah, sometimes we'll hop on a session, and I'm like, hey, we're good, we're good, you know. And she was like,
One.
oh, girl, I don't know if I can afford this every session, you know. But Um, but I think that's my gift.
Got it.
Because I get so many those in my inner circle
Got
know
it.
that about me, to where they can call me in and they get a strategy that does it.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's a great skill to have. So
Yeah.
who would you say been the most influential person to you on your business journey?
Oh, I have so many sheroes.
Okay.
I can't say one on this one. I gotta there's been some women who are entrepreneurs who are really rocking it. Um One person that I worked with when I first started my business, she was my
Hmm.
business coach, Melanie Allen, rock star woman, doing
Okay.
great things. She's one of my sheroes. I would say um, a good friend of mine, Tansy McNulty, another one of my sheroes. But it's
Okay.
been so many entrepreneurs who have impacted, whether we've met in real life or
Got
even
it.
just watching them
Yeah.
do their thing,
Yeah.
that I'm inspired by.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it can just be someone who wrote a book. You read a book
Yeah,
somebody wrote, and it
yeah,
just makes such
yes,
a big difference in your
yeah,
life because it speaks to you, and
yeah,
you actually start putting into practice what you've read. So
Yeah, yeah.
it can have such a big influence.
It is a game changer. One person like that for me, I'm getting tongue tied. Lisa Nichols. Um,
Okay.
I mean, everybody knows Lisa
Yeah.
Nichols, and I enrolled in one of her speaking uh, courses. And so I'm enrolled in the course, and even prior to enrolling in that, I knew about her, had been following her, got her books and stuff.
Mhm.
But I tell you, as I went through and started learning more and more about her, and then I ended up reading some more books of her, and she just does not, well, maybe she does know, because I remember um, when I wrote my first book, my devotional, I really was inspired by her,
Uh-huh.
and felt like her story made me feel like I could do it,
Ah.
and so I remember once my book was published, I mailed a copy to her company, and she read it.
Oh, wow.
And she
Wonderful.
ended up mailing me a thank you card that I have to this day. But
Ah.
but I've never met her, not yet.
Right,
I'm
right.
definitely I'm gonna end up at one of her in person events. But she inspired me in a way that, I mean, touched me,
That's
just
remarkable.
really touched me.
Yeah, very good. Very good. I love that. So when you were a little girl, Cassandra, what did you think you would be when you grew up?
I laugh because, oh my goodness, when I was a little girl, it was so many different things. But what was so funny about it,
Uh-huh.
and I just didn't realize that people did it for a living. I love speaking. I love
Uh-huh.
talking. And so I would make a microphone, just had a little microphone I made with paper.
Uh-huh.
And I would go around the house speaking, to my parents or to whoever came over,
Uh-huh.
I would speak. But like I said, I didn't know like people had that as a career. So I never realized it was something I could do
Right.
um until I was much older, But I remember thinking I wanted to be a lawyer. I remember like elementary school, I won this award, like student of the month, and we had a school newspaper, and they interviewed me and everything, and I thought, oh, like, yeah, wow, and I remember when I got interviewed, and they asked me what I wanted to be when I grow up, and I thought, hey, I'm gonna be a lawyer. So for a long
Oh,
time, I thought I wanted to do that.
got it. Got it. Very interesting. Very interesting.
But yeah,
Great.
pay attention. I'm gonna drop this other nugget. Pay attention to what you loved doing as a child, because oftentimes that is a gift that as you got older, you stopped doing because you
Mm.
stopped believing in dreams.
Mm.
And it
Wow.
was something that you were just naturally good at, and you just stop because you just stop believing in dreams, and that happens for a lot of people once we get a certain age.
Hmm. I like that. I hope that sit. So I hope my audience lets that sit with them for a moment and just think back and think about what was it that
Yeah,
used to just light them up
yeah.
that they kind of just let fade away as they got older because they stopped believing in dreams. Wow, I love that. Wow. So, what would you say is the impact you want to make with your business, Cassandra?
Yeah. The impact that I want to make, is creating a self-love revolution for Black women. I want us to unapologetically love ourselves, know our worth. I want us to have that emotional and well-being we deserve. I want to see the numbers lowered for us right now when we talk about domestic abuse. 45% of Black women experience domestic abuse from an intimate partner.
Wow.
If we know that that's what's being reported, 45%, we know that number is
Yes.
much higher because so many women don't report. I
Yes.
want to see us in healthy relationships, and I want to see us, we're growing, we're starting businesses at record numbers, and I want to see us get um, what we deserve financially.
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
Yeah.
I love that. I love all of those. And I think my with embracing Black joy, my brand, one the things that I focus on is the joy, health, and wealth of Black women. Because to your point, I concur with you. I think we definitely deserve to know what happiness is and to know that we deserve to have it. And with wealth, with business building, we deserve to be wealthy because when Black women have wealth, then families have wealth. Families have
Yes.
legacies, right?
Yeah.
We just the by the positives coming through us, it affects so many people because we take care of so many people. So
Yes.
all those
Yeah.
people that our hands and our arms reach out to benefit from us being stronger and better and more loved and caring for ourselves and wealthier, with more
Yeah.
resources. We help each other like you and I are doing right now. We're putting together this information to help other Black women entrepreneurs. We help each other more than anyone else does. So that's beautiful. I love that list you ran down. Wonderful.
Yeah. And I gotta throw this in about us helping one another because right now, wow, when we think about what's going on in this country politically,
Yes.
when you talk about Black women stepping up
Yes.
and leading the movement,
Yes.
um, I'm fortunate to be a part of Win with Black Women,
Hmm.
and breaking the Zoom and all the things.
Yes.
In one night on a
Yes.
Zoom, we made history.
Yes.
And look what it's birthed.
Exactly.
But it
Exactly.
started with us.
Duplication.
It
Exactly.
started with us, and it's great to have allies. But one thing, and sister, I
Exactly.
want you to know this, if you're a sister listening to this, do not think that the sisterhood is where we're just, does that
Exactly.
happen?
Exactly.
Sometimes, but the exception to the rule, we
Yes.
look out for one another.
Yes. Most of the
Don't let
time.
anyone tell you different.
No. No.
Don't let anyone tell you different, sister,
Mm-mm.
because I'm here to tell you. When I worked in corporate, like I said, I was a gerontologist. Not a lot of people that look like us go into gerontology.
Uh-huh.
That's just facts. It's not a lot of Black minority period. So I worked
Right.
mostly with white males.
Mm.
And so when I entered entrepreneurship, it was really my first time in a professional setting where I was around people that looked like me, and it was a
Ah.
beautiful thing. And let me tell you, most of the time we're willing to pour into one another because we know how hard, we
Yes.
know the journey.
Yes.
It's we're doing all these things, but we're doing it in spite of. We've had the
Mm.
hurdles. We've
Mm.
had to climb Mount Everest to get what we've got. And so we're willing to support one another.
Definitely. Definitely. That's right. I love that. Yes. Definitely take that in, audience. Don't believe the hype of the opposite. We are here to help each other because to
Yeah,
Cassandra's point, we understand. We understand your
yeah,
journey. We know we walk the
yeah,
same walk. So
yeah,
when I see you walking that walk, I'm going to reach my hand out to help you because
yeah,
I know what you're going through. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and definitely relate. So where do we see your business in the next 5 years?
Oh man, it's gonna look so different. Matter of fact, here soon you're gonna see a whole reiteration, name change, complete.
Okay.
The business is going to look a lot different. Because as I mentioned earlier, when I started my company 6 years ago, um, because I had freshly healed from systemic lupus, most of my clients that came to me had some type of autoimmune condition or chronic condition, and we worked on reversing that. Now, where I am now, 99% of the people I serve are Black women entrepreneurs. And so I want to change. Um, we're in the process of changing some of our services. As I just mentioned, retreats will be one of those
Yes.
things. And we got some other things that's in the works. I'm doing more speaking,
Uh-huh.
and so with me doing more speaking as time goes on, will I still do coaching? Yes, but it's going to look a little different. You're already seeing now where I have the digital courses to where people can enroll in the courses and work them at their own pace.
Yes.
But there's some things coming that's going to um, like I said, make the self love revolution for Black women a real thing.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. I'm here for all of that. I love
Yeah.
that. So, Cassandra, thank you so much for being with us today. As we close out, we always like to ask you a couple of fun questions just so our audience can get to know Cassandra, the person. So
All
we're
right.
going to start with the first one is if you can have a conversation with anyone, past or present, who would that person be and why?
Oh wow. Anybody. I might
Anybody.
have to pick. I don't even gotta think about this one, y'all. I gotta pick my forever first lady, Michelle Obama.
Okay.
And the reason I would pick her, when I read her book, Becoming, I cried.
uh,
I mean, I so resonated with her. She grew up humble beginnings
yes.
as her dad was such a hard worker, and education was something that was emphasized in her family, the importance of education. But there's so many parts of her story that's me.
Wonderful.
So I would love to just sit and have a conversation with her.
Wonderful. I can see that. What was your favorite childhood game?
Oh, wait. Let me tell you, like I said, I love reading. So I read Babysitter's Club books, but then they came out with a game. And let me tell you, I love that game. It was so
Ah.
much fun. So that had to be one of my favorite childhood games.
Oh, wow. Nice, nice. What is your either your favorite place to travel or your dream place to travel?
Oh, oh, wait. Now this one making me think. Because for me, favorite place to travel, I like being close to water because for me, water is healing and it's just a real cathartic experience. So anywhere where I can get that. But if I had to say my dream vacation, I've never been to Africa and I
Okay.
always wanted to go to the motherland. So I get
Mm,
any part of Africa that would be my dream.
wonderful, wonderful. I love that. Who was your favorite teacher, either in grade school, high school, college, anything? Who was your favorite teacher and why?
Oh, Dr. Wall.
Okay.
Dr. Walls was one of my professors as an undergraduate. Dr. Patricia Guy Walls. I hope
Ah.
she might be listening. She was one of my favorite professors because she believed in me. I had a um, my undergraduate experience wasn't ideal.
Okay.
Went through some things that was unfortunate with different professors and just a lot. And she stood by me. And
Ah.
honestly, if it wasn't for her, I probably would have left that college. Or I don't know what I would have did, but she made it possible for me to go through some of the hardest times that I had as a young adult.
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So, and the final question, what is your favorite meal or favorite food?
Oh, my favorite meal, because I love me some veggie food, y'all. In
Uh,
which, yes, do I still eat meat? Yes. But I love some veggie food. And so one of my favorite meals, I love making a chickpea pasta,
mm.
right? And doing that with the Beyond sausage and onions and peppers. Oh my goodness, I love it. So I'll do that with like garlic bread, salad, and I'm like, yes.
Okay, that sounds good.
And
Wonderful. Well, thank you again, Cassandra, for being here with us. I want to give you a chance to let us know how we can connect with you. What's the best place to
sure.
connect with you?
Yeah, the easiest way to stay plugged in to me, what I'm doing, go
Yes.
to my Linktree backslash Pillar Cassandra, Linktree backslash Pillar Cassandra. There you'll see not only my services and products, you'll also find links on resources that's beneficial to you as you're healing yourself emotionally, mentally. You'll find affirmations there. You'll find books there. You'll find resources to support you. As I mentioned earlier, I'm partnered with a company that helps with funding. You'll see a link for that. All the resources I have are right there at the link tree, Killer Cassandra.
Wonderful, wonderful. And we're gonna drop that in the show notes so our audience can go there and tag it and connect with you as soon as possible. So thanks again, Cassandra. We appreciate you so much. You've dropped so many gems today for our audience. I know they were enlightened as much as I was. And again, just thank you for taking the time to come here and share all this great information with us.
It's been a joy. I want to thank you for the invitation to be on your platform. It's been a delight.
Wonderful.